Hello children, welcome to NEET AIIMS Foundation Biology session. We have completed the lesson Sexual Reproduction in Plants. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the questions which appeared from this lesson in the previous medical entrance examinations and Olympiads. Okay, before going to the assessment, let us briefly review the concepts which we have learnt. What is reproduction, children? Reproduction ensures the continuity of species generation after generations. As the older individuals undergo the senescence and die, the continuation occur by means of this process called reproduction. Especially the flowering plants shows sexual mode of reproduction and bears complex reproductive units as male and female reproductive units along with the necessary structures. So, what is flower, children? Flower is the modified stem which functions as reproductive organ and produces ova and or pollen. A typical angiospermic flower consists of 4 whorls. What are they? Sepals, petals and pistil, or androecium, gynoecium, calyx, corolla. Okay. If the flower, in flower the male, that is androecium, and the female gynoecium differentiate and develops, in which the male and female gametes are produced. The stamen consists of long and slender stalk. So, this is a stamen consisting of long and slender stalk called filament, and generally bilobed anthers. Each lobe contains 2 thecae, dithecous. Okay. In anther, 4-sided structures consisting of 4 microsporangia, 2 in each lobe. The microsporangia develops further and becomes a pollen sac, and finally they contain the pollen grains. What is the formation of pollen grains? Called microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis. What is microsporogenesis? The process of formation and differentiation of microspores, that is pollen grains, from microspore mother cell, that is MMC, by reductional division or meiosis is called microsporogenesis. The cells of sporogenous tissue undergo meiotic division to form the microspore tetrad. As the anther matures and dehydrate, the microspore dissociate and develops into pollen grains. The pollen grain represents the male gametophyte, isn't it? So, shall we proceed, children? NEET Olympiad level previous contest questions. The question number 1. How is pollination brought about in maize? Pollination in maize by insects, by bats, by wind, by what? By which one? How the pollination occur in these maize? It occur by wind. Hydrophily is best demonstrated. What is hydrophily, children? Pollination by water. So, best demonstrated by example Nelumbium, Vallisneria, Nymphia, Ramunculus. Vallisneria is submerged water plant, shows hydrophily. Entomophily. What is entomophily? Pollination by water, animals, air, insects. Okay. Entomophily means pollination by insects. The liver mechanism of pollination is characteristic feature of Ficus, Salvia, Ocimum, Ranunculus. The Salvia is the best example for the mechanism of pollination, that is liver mechanism. Anther is generally composed of 2 sporangia, 3 sporangia, 4 sporangia, 1 sporangium. 2 sporangia. Okay. Development and formation of pollen grains in anther of the stamen is known as microsporogenesis, fertilization, megasporogenesis, spermiogenesis. It is microsporogenesis. In angiosperms, meiosis occurs when flowers are formed, pollen grains are formed, seeds are formed, seeds germinate. It is pollen grains are formed. Okay? Meiosis occurs when pollen grains are formed. A microspore mother cell MMC forms a pollen sac, embryo sac, pollen grain and ovule. Okay? Microspore mother cell forms pollen grains. The pollen tube at the time of entering the embryo sac has 3 male gametes, 2 male gametes, 1 male gamete, 4 male gametes. How many? 2 male gametes. Okay? First tube cell and generative cell. The generative cell divides into 2 male nuclei. Okay? The sequence of development of embryo sac. Development of embryo sac sequence. Archesporium, megaspore, Megasporophyte, embryo sac. Archesporium, megaspore, megaspore mother cell, embryo sac. Archesporium, megaspore mother cell, megaspore, embryo sac. Archesporium, megaspore mother cell, embryo sac, megaspore. What is the correct sequence? So, it is Archesporium, megaspore mother cell, megaspore and embryo sac. C. The functional megaspore undergoes 2 meiotic divisions to form mature embryo sac, 3 meiotic divisions to form mature embryo sac, 2 mitotic divisions to form mature embryo sac, 3 mitotic divisions to form mature embryo sac. Which is correct? The functional megaspore undergoes 3 mitotic divisions to form a mature embryo sac. D. Which one is female gametophyte? Embryo, embryo sac, endosperm, synergids. It is the embryo sac. Embryo sac is found in endosperm, embryo, ovule, seed. Is found in the ovule. Okay. Synergids are haploid, diploid, triploid, aneuploid. Synergids are haploid. All are haploid. Only the central, in the embryo sac, 8 cells are there now, out of which the antipodal synergids, these are all haploid only. Okay. Only the polar nucleus or central canal cell, it is diploid. Okay. Double fertilization is a characteristic of angiosperms, algae, gymnosperms, bryophytes. So, these angiosperms are non-flowering, gymnosperms are non-flowering, bryophytes are non-flowering. Double fertilization occur in the flowering plants, that is angiosperms. Okay? Double fertilization and triple fusion. After fertilization, the seed coats of seeds develop from ovule, chalaza, integuments, nucellus. Seed coats develop from integuments. Next, the pollination in lotus is carried out by wind, water, insects, all of these. Okay, pollination in a lotus carried out by insects. Okay, though it is a water plant, the flower is outside the water. Pollination by bats is called malacophily, chiropterophily, entomophily, myrmecophily. Okay, which one? Chiropterophily, pollination by bats. Which haploid cell forms embryo sac? Microspore mother cell, megaspore mother cell, functional megaspore, none of these. Megaspore mother cell. The function of guiding and attracting the pollen tube is done by helper cells. What are those helper cells? Egg cell, filiform apparatus, antipodal cells, secondary nucleus. Filiform apparatus consisting of synergids. Okay, those synergids are guide the and help in extracting the pollen tube. Okay, that's why they are called helper cells. The largest cell of the ovule is megaspore mother cell, antipodal cell, central cell. Size of the cells variable. Which one? Central cell. Okay, it is a diploid, it is only the largest in the ovule. The secondary nucleus present in the middle of embryo sac is tetraploid, triploid, diploid. Secondary nucleus present in the embryo sac. This tetraploid means 4n, triploid means 3n, diploid means 2n, haploid means 1n. It is a which one? Diploid. What is the term used for pollination by birds? Malacophily, ornithophily, chiropterophily, myrmecophily. It is ornithophily. Okay, ornithology, study of birds. Ornithophily is study of pollination by birds. The double fertilization results in the production of haploid nucleus, diploid nucleus, triploid nucleus, tetraploid nucleus. Okay, triploid 3n nucleus. Okay, male gametes in angiosperms are formed by the division of generative cell, vegetative cell, microspore mother cell, microspore. It is by generative cell. Okay. The role of double fertilization in angiosperms is to produce cotyledons, endocarp, endosperm, hormones. Okay. It is a endosperm. Endosperm is formed during the double fertilization by 2 polar nuclei and 1 male gamete, 1 polar nuclei and 1 male gamete, ovum and male gamete, 2 polar nuclei and 2 male gametes. Which one? 2 polar nuclei and 1 male gamete. In angiosperms, pollen tube liberate their male gametes into the central cell, antipodal, synergids, egg cell. To the synergids, the pollen tube release the male nuclei near the synergids, micropylon region of the ovule. The diagram below is a longitudinal section of an ovule of an angiosperm. With which of the following structures do the contents of one pollen tube fuse with? Here the numbering is given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1 is antipodals, 2 is okay, the central cell, synergids, 3 is the egg cell. Okay, like this is given. So here 5 you can neglect, actually 4 parts are there. So you have to select the contents of one pollen tube fuse with egg cell. Okay. So which one? 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. Which one? It is the 3 and 4. Okay. So one is the polar nucleus and the fourth one is egg cell. Okay. Double fertilization. The anther is generally composed of 1 sporangium, 2 sporangium, 3 sporangium, 4 sporangium. Anther is composed of how many sporangium? 4 sporangium. 2 lobes, 4 sporangium. A microspore mother cell forms an ovule, an embryo sac, a pollen sac, pollen grains. Pollen grains. Synergids are tetraploid, triploid, diploid, haploid. Synergids are haploid, cells present near the micropylar region of the ovule. Which one of the following characters causes cross pollination? Cleistogamy, dichogamy, homogamy. Okay. All the above. Which one? It is only dichogamy. Okay. Because cross pollination characters. In which type of the flowers stigma is rough and sticky? Insect pollinated, wind pollinated, water pollinated, all the above. It is wind pollinated flowers, the stigma is rough and sticky. The pollination by wind is called nitogamy, anemophily, autogamy, none of the above. It is anemophily. Okay. When pollen grains of a flower pollinate the stigma of another flower of the same plant, it is called dichogamy, hercogamy, nitogamy, autogamy. Stigma of another flower, it is called yes, nitogamy. Okay, cross pollination. The pollination by slug and snails is called Ornithophilus, Malacophilus, Anemophilus, Chiropterophilus. Malacophilus by slugs and snails, shelled animals. Okay. Which prevents the self pollination? Self sterility, hercogamy, dichogamy, all of the above. So, all of the above. In bisexual flowers, when the gynoecium matures earlier than the androecium, it is called, means the female reproductive part matures earlier than the male reproductive part, it is called protandry, protogyny, heterogamy, autogamy. Protogyny, gynoecium matures earlier than androecium. So, pollination characteristically occurs in angiosperms and fungi, angiosperms and gymnosperms, pteridophytes and angiosperms, bryophytes and angiosperms. Okay, here in the first option angiosperms and fungi, only in angiosperms the pollination occur. In angiosperms and gymnosperms, okay, both the pollination takes place because both are flowering plants. Pteridophytes, there is no pollination because non-flowering. Angiosperms, okay. Here bryophytes and angiosperms, bryophytes again there is no pollination, only in angiosperms. So, here angiosperms and gymnosperms the pollination occurs. Okay, children, these are some of the questions in the assessment 1. Hope you followed. In the next session we are going to discuss more questions. Thank you for watching our video. Have a good day.